I've got this milling cutter which we use as a counterbore and a capstan, and oops, yeah, it's lost its edge, which you can quite clearly see here, and we can sharpen that up on a surface grinder, and that works pretty good. Done a little video on that in the past, so that's okay. We can sort that out. But this has got quite a lot of wear on the corners as well. In fact, one of them is properly chipped. Yeah, that one is quite bad. Plus, there's also some wear along the flutes, only to about the depth of the counterbore that is cutting, so which is to be expected, I guess. So just grinding the top of this is not gonna do the job. We really need to take about 4mm off the end and refresh, well, so that we can come down to here where the flutes are quite nice still. And quite often when you send these things off to be reground, they come back being smaller than their original size. This one was actually an 18mm diameter, it says on here somewhere, and now measures 16.3 or so, which is good for us in the machine that we're using it on. We're trying to get a 16.5mm counterbore, and this works, even though the cut is a little bit smaller. I think it sits slightly off center in the machine, so we get away with it cutting a little bit oversize. .3, yeah. So I want to maintain that diameter. I guess if you send it off to a cutter grinder and tell them not to change the diameter, they will do that. But I'm going to have a go at chopping the end off and then resharpening it. The resharpening, as I said, we can do on a surface grinder, get a reasonable result. But in cutting about 4mm off of this, I'm going to have to recut the kind of flutes on the end, and the only way I've got to do that is with an angle grinder. Oh, I'm trying to say that's improvising or bodging. Yeah, we'll see. First step is going to be to cut the end off. Well, that no longer looks really much like a milling cutter. So, yeah, I need to regash the slots in the end, but also I think what I will do is I will put this in the surface grinder now, because there are still some blunt corners showing, so I'm going to skim this down so that we get rid of that completely. take that out of there and have a look at it. Hopefully it will be close, and if it's close I might leave it at that for now, and we'll take the if there's any bit of a wear left on the corner, I can do that. Oh, that's warm. Huh, what a surprise. Yeah, we can take the last little bit off when we actually come to cutting the clearance angles on the end. Well, just looking at this professionally ground cutter. I don't know if it's new or whether it's been reground like this, but you can see the shape of the clearances in here. Oh, where are we? The shape of this. I was thinking of maybe trying to do this with again with an angle grinder, but with a wide, I don't know if they're 2mm, 2.5mm, 3mm even cutting wheel. I don't have any. I've only got the little thin 1mm thick things, so I don't fancy trying to do this with an angle grinder with a thin wheel. So I've got a wheel set up on a, you might call it a bench grinder, but it's not on a bench, it's on a stand and it's driven by belts, about an offhand grinder, so it's something that we used to use for grinding form tools. And I think I'm going to try and do it with that. Bring the other one in here. What we've got to try and do. Right, okay. Just truing the wheel up a bit. Oh, this is hard to see. Wow. Well, I think this will work eventually. Yeah, I must try not to cut into this side too much. Best thing I've bought all year. So useful. Bit of vibration going on in it, but I think that's going to help. See what we're doing. What you really could do with is some kind of jig, so that you, every time you indexed it, you knew you were coming back in the same position. Kind of getting there. Looking a bit. Keeping a very straight edge here, but I don't know if that would be better if it was, but I think we could probably live with that being curved. It's still cut okay, still should do what we want it to do. This is getting warm. I need to go find a pot of water. Getting there. Well, I think I might just put some little gashes across the middle. I don't need this to cut anywhere near the centre because it is only going to be used as a counterbore. The hole that it's cutting around is 8mm, and this is opening out to 16.5 on a counterbore. So we don't need it to cut in the middle, and I think I might just gash across here. Can we do it with this wheel? Probably. Just nick that across there, and then we'll take it back out to the surface grinder and put some clearances on it. Looking a little bit odd, but It'll work, I think. Not ideal, but oh, what are we doing? It looks pretty weird. Gold. What on earth? I think I'll run the risk of completely messing this up if I carry on. I think I will leave it at that. Take it back out to surface grinder. And that looks wrong. That looks so wrong. Wheel needs dressing. That's a nuisance. Well, that didn't take much, that's good. I'm making a right pig's ear of this. Whoops, that way. Well, I don't have enough difference between my primary and secondaries. I'm doing it by putting a spacer in the stop on the bed. And I'm just wondering if I've got it run the right way. Well, I think that should work for us. As you can see, it's not really quite right. It's what you get for freehanding and guesstimating things, but we'll give that a go tomorrow, see if it works.